Crypto Unqualified.
Welcome, everybody. Today is Friday, April 5th, 2019, and this is Crypto Unqualified, where we bring you unique perspectives on everything crypto. My name is Benjamin, and as always, across the table from me is my co-host, Nathan.
Good morning, Benjamin.
Good morning, Nathan. Sorry, I don't know why that was funny.
Why?
Today's show is brought to you by SeattleCrypto.com. So, Nate, what's happening with the market? I heard there was some kind of price action over the last couple of days.
So, yeah, I think over the last week, we've poured, over 30 billion back into the market. We got as high as 184 billion. A few days ago, we've retraced down to 176 billion, up almost 3% on the day. I mean, the fact of the matter is we're up. We're up, and all the coins are in the green right now. Bitcoin dominance is just sitting at right about 50%. The top 10 coins are all green right now, starting with Bitcoin at 5,026, Ethereum at 165, Ripple at 36 cents.
And where are you finding all this information?
I'm on Coin Paprika. So I like Coin Paprika. They've got a lot of useful tools. I use it throughout the episode.
They don't pay us to say that.
No, we don't get paid to say that. It's just the one that I've been drawn to as of late. So, in fourth is Litecoin at $88, Bitcoin Cash at $2.92, EOS at $5.29, Binance Coin at 19, Stellar at 12 cents, Cardano at 9 cents, and Tether at $1.
Weird.
All the coins in the green, like I said, with right now Ripple up the most in 7 days. It's up almost 9%, with Stellar up almost 7% in the last 24 hours, not 7 days. So everything's in the green. You can trace it all the way down to the top 20. Everything looks green right now.
Yeah, you don't really start running into any projects that are seeing a negative 24-hour, 7-day until you get out of like the top 50.
Well, we thought March was going to be the month that we saw things, start to go up, and wasn't quite March, but I guess we can't definitively say that it's the start of a bull market. But what's the Bitcoin chart look like today? I mean,
as far as calling when we thought the correction would begin, I think we were about as spot on as you could hope for. We said the end of March. We pretty well nailed it. I'm not gonna lie.
Go ahead and toot your own horn.
I think I just did. So looking at the Bitcoin daily price chart, this is coming from the Bitstamp exchange. The descending or the falling wedge pattern that was defining our bear market over the last year and a half or so, price action broke out, and like we discussed in the last episode, what we would hope to see on such a breakout is a candle close above and price action continue to carry. And that's what we got. And price was just constantly hitting up against that $4,200 level until that level just broke. And when it broke, it was fast. It went from 4,200 up 1,000 plus to about 5,300 before it pulled back. So the bear market, in my view, is over. That's not to say that we can't see a correction, especially off of such a dramatic move like what we just saw. But I see the bull run now really getting the wheels turning.
Do you just want to talk now about what you think is reminiscent about now in relation to 2017, since you're on the chart?
Yeah, sure, we can do that. So let's go now from the daily chart to a little bit higher time frame chart. This is going to be the 3-day chart, still with the Bitstamp exchange. And so I got a bit of a pushback from people in the TradingView chat over the last couple of days based on what my analysis is of what we can expect in the coming weeks for Bitcoin price action. And basically what that boils down to is my expectation is that this run-up will see a sell-off to find support. And after having knocked up against the $4,200 level for as long as we did, for us to not go back and retest that level it would surprise me, to put it plainly. I can see a situation where price just continues to carry up. It's happened before. So in our current situation, we have an ascending triangle breakout. Okay, we've also got an advanced pattern, which I won't really go into, but the two of those together help to kind of lead my technical analysis. So looking back at similar situations, I found a very similar ascending triangle pattern back in about June, July of 2017. And this is coming from the original run up to the $20,000 bonanza that we had. So price was hitting about $3,000, rejected, hit it, and then breakout, right? So it broke out, went straight to about $5,000, and then sold off over the next couple weeks to retest support at about the $3,000 level. And what I was getting from the TradingView chat was, if we sell off from where we are today, from around $5,000, and if we go all the way down to $4,300 to retest support, that's super bearish because it's such a dramatic retrace. And I disagree. I think on a breakout like this, going back and retesting the resistance and determining if that now becomes support and finding support is extremely bullish. So that's my 2 bits on where we were in 2017 as pertains to where we are now. And if you're looking at the price chart, I'll uncover some of these drawings that illustrate the similarities. So we've got an ascending wedge, we've got that advanced pattern, price went up and completed that pattern, and now the expectation based on those two things in conjunction would be that we'll see price try to find a support level. That's not to say that it'll get all the way down to $4,300 to retest that previous resistance, but a pullback to 382, if you're looking at the chart, that a pullback to that level for continuation, that would be extremely bullish. That means that we can't even get further than that before it starts going up again.
So your overall analysis is that we are coming out of the bear market. We just have to retrace a little bit.
Right.
Am I understanding you correctly?
You smart.
Absolutely. Corrections are expected. They're normal. And when we have a really dramatic price spike like that, people are going to take profit and look to capitalize on the FOMO, like we talked about before. When you were asking, why do I think price would go that fast up to those levels? FOMO is one of the main reasons, because people are emotional and they tend to do what other people are doing. So if everybody's freaking out thinking they're going to miss this next bull run and everyone jumps in, all the people that were early are now taking profit and selling to those FOMO people. And at some point, that euphoria is going to wear off and people are going to start to second guess themselves. And then you'll see price kind of round over, find support, and continue off. So the higher time frame analysis for Bitcoin is exactly what we've been talking about, that we would expect to see price go back up to about the $6,000, $6,200 level on a breakout from our bearish pattern that's been holding us back for the year and a half that we've been in it.
And I think this is a good time to say that we are not financial advisors. This is not financial advice.
This is just my opinion.
So,
man,
take it for what it is. And thank you for that, Benjamin. And moving right along, we like to talk about current blockchain activity and current GitHub activity, and we do that by using a couple websites. One is Crypto Miso. Crypto Miso tracks GitHub activity. GitHub activity gives you an idea of how active developers are on any said project or platform. You can do that by using Crypto Miso, and right now we'll talk about the top 3 that are the most active over the last 3 months. Number 1 is Holochain, HOT, with 3,200 commits. Second is ELF, with the ticker ELF, ELF, with 2,400 commits. And coming in third is Insular, INS, with 2,200 commits.
Crypto Miso gives you a really good insight into the projects that are still working, and you get to see what work is being done on the code behind the scenes. Another good indicator of the usefulness and activity of a project or a blockchain would be
Blocktivity.
Haha! So you can get to this information by going to blocktivity.info, and it ranks the top blockchains based on actual transaction activity. So whereas Crypto Miso shows you the work that's being done on the code, Blocktivity shows you if the project's actually being used and to what degree. So what do we have on Blocktivity today?
No real surprises. I mean, things shuffle around, every once in a while for the third and fourth spot. But at number one is EOS. I think they've had the number one spot for a while. I think Wax might have taken it from them a few months back. But number one's EOS. Second is Wax. 3 is Tron. 4 is BitShares, 5 is Steem, and 6 is Bitcoin. So 4 of those 6 essentially are all Dan Larimer projects or a spin-off of a Dan Larimer code software.
Yep. Turning now to news of the past week, what have you got on deck for us?
We've got a few things to talk about, Benjamin. One thing I got here is Electroneum's making moves in South Africa. So, and for those of you that don't know Electroneum, I don't own Electroneum, either do you, right?
No, I don't.
So Electroneum, I think, is specifically known as a mobile cryptocurrency. They're looking to target smartphones. It looks like they're really focusing on Africa for, I think, obvious reasons, right? I mean, Africa probably, I would say, isn't abundant with computers, but I would say most people have smartphones there. So
yeah, and they've got a need for easy value transfer.
Yeah, so they're selling a new smartphone. I think the retail price is $80, but the real incentive is that with this phone you can actually mine and make, I believe, up to $3 a month in Electroneum. So, that's not bad. I guess it'd take you almost 2 years to pay off the phone if you're actually thinking of it in those terms of $3 a month. But I believe they teamed up with a mobile network in Africa. And they're looking to spread their wings there, so to speak.
Yeah, a mobile phone offering is a really smart way to get brand recognition, to get customer loyalty, and to really lower the bar on entry into one of these types of blockchain technologies. Electroneum, I think they're doing something really smart by focusing on the South African market and the African continent, because I feel like it's kind of an overlooked segment of the blockchain economy. So Electroneum right now is currently trading at 0.0061 USD. I think it had a high of 15 cents back in, I want to say 2017, when everything was going bananas. But it's a project we'll be keeping an eye on and bringing more information about in future episodes.
So up next, we've got news from the SEC. The SEC has actually issued their first no action letter for an ICO. I think people have been sort of waiting around to see, what the SEC's stance is going to be on ICOs. I know they have shut some down in the past, but they haven't really issued any real standards of what they want to see for an ICO to be legit, basically. And they just issued this no action letter to an ICO called Turnkey, and in this letter they broke down specifically what Turnkey could do and not do to launch their ICO. They've gone as far as to tell them exactly what their token price has to be. It looks like it has to be one USD per token. They also go on to say that the funds derived from the token sale cannot develop the platform, network, or app. It says each of these will fully be developed by the time the tokens are sold. So that's different from what we've known in the past. Some of the past ICOs have taken that money and basically that's what they've built their platform with. But the SEC is now saying that you have to already have your platform built before you can do your token sale.
Strange how they ask for a project to have a product that they're trying to sell to consumers before they try to sell it to the consumers.
Yeah.
Weird.
Yeah, so you can look up this article. We can probably put a link to it, and you can go through all of these bullet points that the SEC has listed for a turnkey to abide by. So, I mean, do you think this is? Is this news, no news, or do you think this is big news?
I would put this in the news, no news category. I mean, it happened. I don't know that it has any kind of an impact at all, other than it was the first time that it happened.
Well, I mean, and it's actually maybe a good spot for us to roll into IEOs, because we were going to talk about that today anyways in our news update. You know, a lot of you have probably heard the new craze out there, which is IEO, which is initial exchange offering. So initial exchange offerings are looking to take the place of ICOs, and the way that that's going to work is that instead of the said ICO launching their platform on their own, exchanges are now going to launch token sales for startup projects. So,
and this comes after the 2017 ICO fiasco, where legitimately, some 80% of all of those ICOs, I think 80% of all ICOs to date have been blatant scams. I've sent money to a couple of them. I don't know if you have.
Yep, I got caught up in one.
It's really unfortunate, but you see a project that says, "Hey, we want to do this really, innovative, disruptive, groundbreaking thing, and here's our whatever white paper and support us if you want to see this thing happen." And you're like, "Yeah, I want to support you. I want to see that happen." And then they're like, "Thanks for your money. Peace, sucker."
Yeah, thanks for the $50 million. So a lot of you have probably heard this term already, and you're probably familiar with, I know Binance has launched the seller network, which I guess you would call a pretty successful token sale. Looks like more exchanges are getting on board. A good tool that I found for current IEO listings is ICO Bench. It's a website. They've got ICO listings, IEO listings, and they've also got STO listings, which will be security token offerings. So, and we're going to talk about that in another episode, because we think that's going to be a big thing here and coming up in the future. But it looks like there's a number of exchanges that are getting involved with this. Binance is, like I said, they've launched one, and they've got another one launching here soon. Bit4X, X Markets, KuCoin, I believe Huobi, Probit. Everybody seems to be trying to get a piece of the pie in this new, what I would call, sort of craze.
The IEO craze?
The IEO craze.
I think it's a necessity, honestly. I think this mechanism where a blockchain project uses the exchange for their ICO, the IEO, but it's really just the old world style of doing things being injected into the blockchain economy, because it hasn't been done the right way yet. And I don't know that this is going to be the right way. It just smacks of middleman to me. It smacks of centralization to me. And I would assume that because the exchanges are no better than any big, corporation, ultimately, they're going to use this to their advantage. If they can, use the IEO as a means to apply leverage to a project. So like, hey, you want to ICO, through Bitfinex? Great. That'll just be, $3.5 million, and we'll be sure to take care of that for you. And we'll give you all the assurances and the security that you need so that your participants feel safe in participating in your ICO. A solution to that has been proposed by a partnership between Eosphere and Signal X. And they state, if we want the sector to move forward, we have to rebuild capital formation from the ground up. We believe that Signal X TTO model empowers projects globally to raise capital with trust at the core, allowing investors to better assess their risk and make more informed decisions on the projects they choose to support. So basically what their goal is to facilitate the trust in sending money to a project that wants to ICO by forcing that project to utilize a smart contract where there's requirements, there's safeguards, there's some level of verification, mechanisms in place to protect the investor. And that takes that centralized control out of the hands of the exchanges. And I really feel like it's a happy medium between ICO fiasco, centralized IEO. We've got this proposed solution, and it'll be interesting to see how many other projects start to utilize such a thing. Obviously, they're going to start going towards the IEO. It's the easiest option right now, but I don't think it really jives with the whole blockchain thing.
I think it's a much better model. I mean, it's better than the ICO model. I think it's
it is.
There's going to be a little more trust there dealing with an exchange, I think, for the average retail investor. I mean, I'd like to see, code audits done, maybe before the listings come out. Maybe just a little more audit stuff done altogether rather than it just listing the token sale. Maybe it'll evolve to that. Maybe it won't. Maybe it'll evolve to that when one of the exchanges ends up doing a token sale for a totally crappy project. So
yeah,
that's going to look bad on the exchange. So I mean, I think they've got to be really careful. But I do think it's not perfect, but I think it's better than what we were used to.
Yeah, and here's that data point. Recent research from Ernst & Young found as many as 83% of ICOs are scams that have destroyed billions of dollars of investor capital. Not surprisingly, investors have retreated as a result, and legitimate innovative projects now struggle to access funds they need to commercialize their concepts. So in the short term, I absolutely support the IEO avenue for distributing tokens to potential investors.
I think it's a lot better. I mean, most of these exchanges you're already going to have to do a KYC verification on, so it's just going to be more legit rather than just sending your Ethereum to some random wallet address where you can totally get screwed, which happened to me, which happened to you. So in the end, if you're sending your money to Binance, you're going to feel, or whatever exchange, you're going to feel a lot better about that. So.
Yeah, it's a step in the right direction. I look at it as a short-term fix, but it's a necessary fix.
And that is all I have to say about that.
Excellent.
Moving right along, we've got a story coming out of the Coinbase team. Coinbase has made LinkedIn's top companies of 2019. They are the lone crypto firm on this list. And the interesting thing to me that stood out, which I thought was rather funny, is that Coinbase was ranked number 35 out of 50, with JP Morgan listed number 44.
Take that, JP Morgan.
Yeah. So that brings us to our crypto spotlight of the day, Benjamin. That's a segment of our show where we like to highlight one project or platform and talk about it a little bit and why we like it. And today we've chosen for our crypto spotlight Power Ledger. So Power Ledger is a blockchain-based platform. It plans to completely revolutionize the worldwide energy industry by enabling local areas to sell and distribute solar power to their neighbors without the need for a middleman.
The way we produce and consume electricity is changing. New technology is allowing us to make electricity at home, store it, and use it to power all of our daily needs. What's become apparent is that people want the ability to trade excess energy locally. To make this possible, a new support technology has been developed, and it's called Power Ledger.
Power Ledger is an energy trading platform that allows consumers with solar panels on their roof to sell their excess electricity to their neighbours. The energy system of the past was a one-way street. Large-scale power stations that pushed electricity through networks to consumers who got what they were given at a price that they were given as well. The energy system of the future is far more complex, with power stations virtually on people's roofs, buying and selling energy, with energy flowing in multiple directions between consumers and generators. The Power Ledger system can deal with that complexity. The energy market isn't geared up to buy homegrown electricity any more than a supermarket's geared up to buy homegrown tomatoes. Our platform allows consumers to sell energy directly to their neighbours, meaning we can transition to that cleaner, greener, more locally generated energy future.
Through Power Ledger hardware and an easy-to-use app, participants can trade a unit called Sparks. which are backed up by a blockchain bond called Power Tokens. The platform makes the trade easy, frictionless, and instantaneous. So people who produce electricity get a more realistic price, and people who consume it get a much better deal. The Power Ledger platform is backed by a team of leaders in their field.
Our team includes blockchain experts, full-stack developers and energy experts, so we cover both ends of the supply spectrum. We're not only experts in the blockchain and the technology, but also experts in the area it's being deployed with energy trading. I would describe myself as a power nerd. I've got nearly 20 years of experience in the energy industry and I'm really excited about the future of energy. The other thing that's great about Power Ledger is that nobody gets left behind. Even if you can't afford to buy solar panels yourself, you can buy cleaner, greener and cheaper solar energy from your neighbours.
To find out more about the benefits of peer-to-peer energy trading and access plenty of information, go to powerledger.io.
So essentially, customers are going to pay money for sparks, which they then will trade for electricity, and the reason why they've created this stable coin is because of volatility, right, Benjamin? We talked about this a little bit ago.
Yeah. So there was the question when we were pre-show when we were talking about Power Ledger, and you brought up the point: why does it need two tokens? Like, what would the other one be used for? So we dug into that a little bit, and there's actually Power Ledger in October 2017 posted a Medium article detailing exactly that. They said, we recently acknowledged that though it may be obvious for them, people want to know why tokens are needed for their ecosystem. So they kind of highlight global interoperability. Like if Power Ledger had decided to use blockchain technology just for secure and transparent database transactions, many limitations would be presented when trying to expand globally. Prior to integrating with the ERC20 token Power, POWR, they only used Sparks. And that's a token that's pegged to the lowest denomination of local currency. So Sparks is a stable coin, and Power is an ERC20 Ethereum token. Power tokens can be transferred across borders and converted into Sparks in the local market. Even more importantly, they can be used across Power Ledger platform applications.
Yeah, and there was one billion of the Power tokens minted. So I think right now in circulation, there's about 400 million.
One of the attractive things I think about a project like Power Ledger and even similar projects is that it's tangible. There's not that many blockchain projects that you can actually get your hands on, right? So like an Ethereum or a Bitcoin, or just you name it, any of like a Nano, you can't actually see it doing anything. It's all like digital. Power Ledger has a product. They're actually solving real world, like mom and pop problems where one guy has solar and excess energy and their neighbor doesn't. And there's an opportunity to be had there, and that's what they're capitalizing on. And
well, yeah, it's real world use for blockchain. I mean, it's a good example of what, how it can be successful and how it's actually being successful right now.
So there you have it for Power Ledger. Now, they're not the only people in the space. There's a number of different competing projects out there. One is called Grid, and one is called Sunco, and I'm using CoinGecko.com to compare some of those. It gives you some really easy to digest data points, and you can throw a couple of different projects on there and see how they all stack up. And we've got price, market cap, trading volume, available supply. So
that's Power Ledger, right?
It is. That's it. All done.
All done.
What do we have? What do you have next?
And I kind of got lost with such a long period. I kind of lost my mojo.
Home stretch.
Yeah.
Okay.
Crypto fact of the day is Bitcoin mining is now consuming more electricity than 159 countries, including Ireland and most countries in Africa. Does that surprise you?
No,
No?
not even a little bit. That's proof of work.
Yeah.
It's super wasteful. It's a bulletproof consensus mechanism, but I mean it's only going to continue to consume the world's electricity.
So you think it's only going to get worse?
Yeah.
In that
I
aspect?
mean, worse implies a negative connotation. I don't necessarily think that it's negative. It's just very wasteful.
Maybe a more efficient mining rigs will come out, and that we can see that reduced,
Maybe.
along with solar mining, maybe,
Right.
and stuff like that.
Right. I don't know how that trend gets curbed. It'd be interesting to see. I wonder if I can pull up a chart for electrical consumption over time on the Bitcoin network.
Yeah.
I'd be willing to bet that it's following just like that.
Maybe we can do that next time.
Yeah.
Coming to the end of our show, it's Benjamin's favorite part of the show. It's the joke of the day. Benjamin, what was Forrest Gump's computer password?
Chocolate?
No, it was 1 Forrest 1.
1 Forest 1?
1 Forrest 1. 1 Forrest 1.
Are you stupid or something?
I thought it was funny.
How is that crypto related?
It's computer password. I mean, computers, crypto.
That's a stretch. Judges,
They already said it's
all right.
it's legit.
You
Dude.
get
Yeah,
you get
it's
the
legit.
you get the pass on that one.
It's a technological joke. Come on.
Technological?
You know it was funny.
It was pretty funny.
All right, why don't you bring us on out of here?
That was the show for this week. If you like the show, be sure to tell somebody else about it. And if you have any comments or want to hear us delve into a project that you're interested in, you can just hit us up on Twitter at Crypto Light Show.
And at Crypto Kahuna.
For more information on crypto and to find a full archive of the Crypto Unqualified Show, just go over to seattlecrypto.com. I'm Benjamin.
And I'm Nathan. We out.
Crypto Unqualified.